Friday, January 16th, 2025. In today's BTG episode, Leslie watches a condemning thumb drive. Vanessa has a threat from a husband of a client, and Madison squirms when Chelsea accepts drugs from a friend. Read the last BTG recap. Eva erupts over Kat, Derek spills tea to Jan, and Naomi claims her test results are normal. At the club, Haley and Bill discuss the stress the Duprees have. She's planning on taking him home to give him tea with her secret ingredient, love. He'd rather stay there for the girls. She sighs. Of course. He goes to Danny and they commiserate over being grateful their babies are okay. Haley appears at his side and says they're all family, so they've got to stick together. Andre runs into Nicole at the cafeteria. They're grateful Naomi tested negative. Nearby, Vanessa takes selfies. Leslie comes upon her and scares her half to death. They talk about the clinic and how Joey's honoring her late husband by dedicating the clinic to him. Leslie grits her teeth. My clinic? Is that so? They part ways and Nicole meets with Vanessa. They recap the test results and Vanessa mopes about her daughter not wanting to come home to visit. Nicole thinks it's natural that she's protecting herself. Vanessa offered to sell the house. They talk daily, but nothing happens. She's frustrated, but Nicole thinks she's doing a good job. Deanna's seeing a therapist. They talk about Nicole's men. Kial was a Delancey, and Carlton wants more. She's not sure she's ready for something serious. Vanessa hands her an escort card, thinking she might find someone there. She'll give her a discount and reveals it's her business. Nicole didn't know, and her mouth gapes open. Nicole worries about illegalities. Vanessa isn't worried. She trusts Joey. Besides, she knows a judge who sees the escorts. If she needs help, they're there. Kial arrives at the hospital as Shanice is on a call, asking someone to come clean up some ice cream. He goes to work on the laptop and grabs the ice cream she's been trying to get rid of. He asks after Nicole, but Shanice hasn't seen her. She leaves, and when she's back, food services came back to get the rest of the ice cream. He asks for her help with one of the doctors. She thinks it's Nicole. He denies it, but tells her about massaging Nicole in her office. He wants info on a doctor he's consulting with. Dr. Fitzgerald. She knows Carlton, and she thinks they have something in common. He arrives and they dive in. When they go, Shanice grimaces, knowing they're both into Nicole. Later, Madison turns up and talks really fast about her brain surgery lecture. Chalisa arrives with the good news and a hug. Shanice goes and Chelsea wants to celebrate. They head out. Leslie turns up at Joey's casino back room and helps herself to a drink. He finds her there and comments on her doing so. He takes the glass from her and she tells him she just spoke with his gun mall birdie. He doesn't like anyone giving his girl names. She tells him she isn't into him giving her clinic someone else's name. Joey says it's a done deal. The Phoenix Street Clinic. The plaque outside will read, "In memory of Dr. Doug McBride," and tell her it's irreversible. He expects her to sign the contract. Leslie's pissed. She won't sign from him. Joey gives her his ace in the hold, a thumb drive. They watch whatever it is on a laptop, and after, she claps her hands. Bravo, she says. He's blackmailing her. She sticks to her guns. The name remains the Leslie Thomas Outreach Project. She thinks this is just a step back, as she calls it. He thinks he owns the cards. Just for now, she says, as he gives her the thumb drive. Back at the club, Jacob tells a story to Chelsea and Naomi, but they're not listening. They're sorry. Chelsea's bored, and Naomi feels for her mom. Nearby, Danny thanks Haley for being around. Andre turns up with a kiss for his wife. He has her favorite caffeine fix. She gushes, and he gushes right back. They kiss some more, and Bill's so uncomfortable he takes off to make a call. Haley rushes off after him. Bill! Bill, wait! Andre and Danny laugh at her, while the girls are glad that Danny's smiling. Chelsea leaves the small group to find out what the parentals are doing. Jacob snuggles his wife, and she tells him she's better than okay. She knows what her future is and can face it head-on. She gives him a warm smile. Outside, Haley tells Bill she hopes Naomi will let her take her out since she didn't bite her head off earlier. Bill kisses her. Inside, Chelsea goes to Danny and Andre, and she tells them that Jacob's talking shop talk. She asks if she can leave. Danny and Andre interrupt Naomi and Jacob kissing. They head out to do each other, while Danny and Andre giggle, knowingly. They left her phone, so Andre runs it out to them, while Danny pours herself another drink. Bill appears at Danny's side. Alone again. Bill sits with her, and Haley watches, angry, while Andre returns, practically shaking his head. They sit together. Leslie walks in with purpose and asks the bartender for a shot, which she downs. She watches the foursome and asks for another as Haley tells Bill it's time to go home. Bill ignores her in favor of rehashing family history with Danny about their kid's cotillion. Haley rolls her eyes before spilling a drink on Bill. Andre uses that to take his wife home. Haley runs to the bar to get a cloth, while Leslie, who has been watching the exchange, asks if Haley's having issues keeping Billy Goat's interest. Haley plays dumb, but Leslie can see what's going on. She taunts the other woman, and Haley calls her observations vapid, but Leslie can see Bill's making her life miserable. She thinks they should shoot him misery together. Haley ignores her and goes to Bill, asking him to go to St. Bart's. He refuses. Work's too busy. Haley hallucinates that Danny's telling her that Bill will always choose her, and she looks at Leslie, who lifts her drink to her. At home, Jacob and Naomi get busy. The clothes come off, and they make out on the sofa. After sex, they're wowed. He wants round two and follows her to the shower. At Uptown, Malik is introduced to Chelsea. He's in hospitality and says Chelsea used to be a fave customer. Chelsea says he supplied party favors. Malik gives them a free sample, and Madison worries. Chelsea says it's not as if they're drugs off the street. She knows Malik. The doctor argues that they're still drugs. Any drug could have adverse effects on the brain. Chelsea thinks it's just fun and games. They disagree on what fun is. Madison thinks she's acting out. Chelsea isn't sure what's wrong with that. Her girlfriend lectures her more. Since she won't do it with her, Chelsea leaves her alone. Joey gets a visit from Vanessa. They get hot and heavy, and he gets her on the poker table and kisses her. He liked the selfies she sent. She tells him about seeing Lily, and they button up, and he sighs. He had his own run-in with her. Lance calls under Loli's phone, and he accuses Vanessa of running a male hooker racket. Vanessa tells him to take it up with Loli, not her. He tells her to stop what she's doing, or his problem will be hers. They disconnect, and Joey isn't happy with how she was treated. He wants to help her, but she's fine. She runs the dating service and will handle it. Nicole comes upon Kial and Carlton, and Kial tells Carlton that he was Nicole's Winterfest date. Carlton thanks him for stepping up while he couldn't, to be there. Kiel doesn't think it was a hardship. Nicole agrees. At home, Andre asks Danny to go away with him while he works. She feels the need to be home for Vernon. They kiss. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates. On Tuesday, January 20th, 26, this constant angst over Eva is draining, and the idea that it would be all finished by 2026 was wishful thinking. In Wednesday's episode, Kat and Ted argue over Eva, while Naomi hides her new normal from her entire family. Naomi, hiding her results from everyone, is going to spell trouble for her and Jacob. This couple has already been on rocky ground most of the last half of last year, and this is going to either finish them off or create a new storyline of drama. When Vanessa is into something, she really gets into it, and Heart Attach is her latest project. Finding new talent is always on her mind. We remember the scene in Uptown when both she and Danny were after the same waiter, just for different reasons. In Wednesday's episode, she takes it to an all-new level. Vanessa propositions Kial. Yup, Dr. Kial Rollins. And this will be an interesting conversation once Nicole hears about it. This has been a long time coming. In Wednesday's episode, Jacob clashes with Marcel and Elon. The disdain Jacob has for Marcel as a man and as a police officer is palpable. And it has always been brewing since he saw Marcel take a payoff from Joey. Be careful, Jacob. This is how you get sent off on a dangerous assignment. Oh wait, that's coming next. Tyrell took a stance on the cotillion after discussing it with his girlfriend, Jessica. Now it looks like he's reversed his opinions. In Wednesday's episode, Smitty and Martin are surprised by Tyrell's latest stance on a family tradition. Make sure to check out The Scoop and the next week's sneak peek for a deeper look into what's to come this week and what you have to look forward to from your favorite characters and not-so-favorite characters in the DMV. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, January 20th, suggest that Vanessa McBride has a shocking scandal to share, while Leslie Thomas clashes with Joey Armstrong, and Dr. Madison Montgomery deals with a problem. There's a ton to talk about where the January 20th episode is concerned, so it's time to unpack all the chaos set to unravel in Fairmont Crest. First off, Chelsea Hamilton will be riding a high wave on Tuesday, still celebrating the fact that the BRCA gene did not appear in her test results. As fans know, Chelsea has a new lease on life and is ready to dive into new experiences. But it sounds like her girlfriend, Madison, will have an issue with this. Is Chelsea wanting to do too much too soon? Will Madison be overwhelmed? Fans will have to tune in and find out. Meanwhile, Chelsea's sister, Naomi Hawthorne, won't be as carefree or happy as she is. During the Friday, January 16th episode, Beyond the Gates fans could sense that while Naomi claimed her test results indicated no BRCA gene to her family, the woman was lying. It sounds like during Tuesday's show, viewers will get confirmation about this. So will Naomi confide in anyone about her secret, or keep this scary news all to herself? Elsewhere, Leslie will push Joey's buttons. However, it sounds like the casino owner will bite back. Leslie's partnership with Joey is sure to be volatile, considering both their egos, but Leslie should really watch her step. Joey isn't exactly someone you mess around with, so it sounds like the two will have another interesting encounter as they iron out the details regarding their Doug McBride free clinic project. Lastly, Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Tuesday imply that Joey's girlfriend, Vanessa, will share something scandalous with Nicole Dupree. Vanessa's life is one big ball of controversy, whether one is talking about her business dealings or romance. So what kind of information does she relay to Nicole? Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that the January 20th show will be filled with surprises, heated confrontations, and intrigue, so fans won't want to miss this must-see episode. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of January 19th through 23 indicate that Danny Dupree will plant a kiss on her ex-husband, Bill Hamilton, while Ted Richardson puts Catherine "Cat" Richardson in her place. The CBS soap released an add-on preview after its Inside the Gates cast roundtable special on Monday, January 19th, so it's time to talk about all the drama waiting for fans over the next 5 days. First, the BTG preview video for the week of January 19 to 23 opens with Ted at the country club. As he's standing there, Nicole Dupree catches his eye. However, she's not alone, as Carlton Fitzgerald is by her side, walking with her. Ted enthusiastically acknowledges Nicole, then awkwardly states, "Carlton? Yikes, no love lost between these two business partners, despite their recent chat." As scenes shift in the promo, a clip of Leslie Thomas is shown. She notes, "Whatever long game you're playing, you're running out of time for that." While BTG viewers can't see who she is talking to, it's likely Joey Armstrong. Beyond the Gates spoilers hint. Leslie is going to push the casino owner's buttons this week, but he's also going to put her in her place, so she'd better be careful. Speaking of being put in their place, Ted and Kat have a table at Orphe Jeans for what should be a nice father-daughter outing, but it won't be. Kat tells her dad, "You slept with a devious, psychotic beatitch and expect somehow to get another well-bred princess." Ted firmly replies with, "We have come to the end of apology season." He goes on to say, "Have I ever been anything less than a good father to you?" It looks like Ted is over saying he's sorry about an affair that happened decades ago. He's also over with Kat's continued animosity toward Eva Thomas. Will she ever agree to bury the hatchet? Lastly, Danny and Bill share a tender moment after hours in his office. The Beyond the Gates promo wraps up with a scene between the two exes having a heart-to-heart. They are pretty close in proximity when Ted states, "You burn bright, Danny. No power on this earth will ever dim that light." Danny then reaches for a kiss, and Bill doesn't stop her. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of January 19th through 23 indicate that Danny and Bill will kiss for the umpteenth time at some point over the next 4 days. However, Will they end up doing far more if their conscience doesn't get the better of them? This week on Beyond the Gates, an awkward situation erupts when Nicole and Carlton run into Ted while on a date. Also, Bill and Danny are drawn together during her crisis. Look for them to kiss again. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, BTG aired a special episode featuring the cast. At the end of the hour, a brand new promo aired, highlighting the rest of the week's drama. And there will be drama. Nicole and Carlton finally go on a date outside her home. They arrive at the restaurant and quickly run into Ted. "Nicole, Carlton," Ted says awkwardly and sounding a bit shocked. But should he be shocked? And where's his date? He and Shanice are supposed to meet up for their own rendezvous. If she is on the scene, then things will probably get even more awkward. Whatever long game you're playing, you're running out of time for that. We don't see who Leslie is talking to, but on her agenda for the coming week are heated conversations with Joey and Shanice. It's likely this warning is meant for Shanice, who has been getting closer and closer to Ted. Of course, Leslie thinks she has designs on Ted, but the plastic surgeon has told her over and over again that that ain't happening. You slept with a devious, psychotic and expect to get another well-bred princess who... Kat starts while sitting with Ted at Orphe Jean's. But then her father interrupts her, sounding so over her spiel against his other daughter, Eva. "We have come to the end of apology season. Have I ever been anything less than a good father to you?" he asks. It'll be interesting to see what Kat says, because he was a great father to her entire life. But since their world blew up last year, it has been a different story. You burn bright, Danny. No power on earth will ever dim that light. Bill is, once again, taking it upon himself to lift Danny up, even after all the times he broke her down during their marriage. Well, the words work because Bill and Danny end up kissing. Something tells us that this kiss may get more complicated. Maybe it's the weekly spoiler that reveals Bill buys Tomas's silence. Does Tomas find himself in the wrong place at the right time? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, January 20th, indicate some bombshells in the land of Fairmont Crest. Leslie Thomas pushes someone's buttons, while Vanessa McBride has a scandal she wants to talk about. Plus, Dr. Madison Montgomery has an issue. Find out more about Tuesday's episode below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, January 20th, reveal that Chelsea Hamilton's new lease on life will create a small issue for her gal pal Madison. With the fear of having the BRCA gene, plus her grandmother's breast cancer condition, Chelsea wants to grab the bull by the horns and enjoy life. She wants new experiences, travel, and to get out there. However, will this cause a problem for Madison? Madison is a doctor with a rigid schedule and just can't fly by the seat of her pants. Will Chelsea understand her girlfriend's situation? In other news, Chelsea, along with the other Hamiltons, including Danny Dupree, will be celebrating the fact that neither Chelsea nor her sister Naomi Hawthorne has the BRCA gene, but things will turn awkward. It looks like Naomi is lying about her test results. Will she reveal the truth to someone during Tuesday's show? Across town, Leslie will push Joey Armstrong's buttons. Still, in true Joey style, he'll push back. Is Leslie in way over her head with the this partnership? Joey isn't someone you can push around, so Leslie had better watch her step. Finally, Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Tuesday hint that Vanessa will have a scandalous secret she shares with Nicole Dupree. Is this gem a scandal she's going through, or will the two ladies gossip about someone else? It sounds like Vanessa will likely spill some tea about someone they know, but who's dealing with controversy now? Fans will have to tune in to find out. What are you most looking forward to during Tuesday's show? Comment below. Watch the CBS Soap Daily for all the Fairmont Crest drama. And visit CTS regularly for the hottest Beyond the Gates news, updates, and spoilers. Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest Naomi Hawthorne is hiding a major secret. While she's doing it for noble reasons, will this BRCA lie tear her marriage apart? Beyond the Gates spoilers imply that Naomi has been through the ringer lately. Not only is her grandmother, Anita Dupree, battling breast cancer, but the family learned that the condition can be carried down from generation to generation. Naomi's mom and aunt then got tested, and it was learned that Danny Dupree inherited the BRCA gene. As Danny tested positive for the genetic marker, Naomi and her sister, Chelsea Hamilton, got tested. Chelsea got the results before Naomi when the lab delivered the information. During the Friday, January 16th episode, everyone was at the country club in good spirits, celebrating Chelsea's news when Naomi received her results. It was clear from Naomi's expression that her tests weren't clear, but that she was lying. She obviously didn't want to worry her family and spoil the mood. Jacob Hawthorne, Naomi's husband, didn't notice his wife's lie on Friday's show. However, leading up to all the tests and Anita's news, he could tell Naomi was building up walls. The couple had started therapy, and their lines of communication had been so healthy and strong that he was discouraged by Naomi closing up and not sharing her feelings. When Naomi is stressed, she dives into work, something she has been doing lately. This was a telltale sign that something was bothering her, so he encouraged more therapy, but Naomi abruptly declined. Could Naomi shut Jacob out in the stress of knowing she carries the BRCA gene? What if he suggests growing their family again? Naomi would adamantly refuse, but now she has another reason, as she wouldn't want to pass the BRCA gene on to their child. Still, Jacob doesn't know that. What happens when Jacob learns the truth, that Naomi lied to everyone, including him? Could Naomi's BRCA secret ruin her marriage? Watch the CBS soap daily for all the Fairmont Crest drama, and visit CTS regularly for the hottest Beyond the Gates news, updates, and spoilers. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the next 2 weeks, January 19th to 30, indicate some interesting moments in Fairmont Crest. Bill Hamilton and Tomas Navarro cook up a scheme, while Isaiah Hawthorne has a new venture, and Naomi Hawthorne's BRCA secret is spilled. During the week of January 19th to 23, Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Naomi will continue to lie to her family about her BRCA test results. Everyone was so thrilled during the Friday, January 16th episode, when Chelsea Hamilton's test results came out clear, that it was clear when Naomi got hers, she lied about having the BRCA gene, just to ease everyone's mind. From the sounds of it, Naomi will continue to fib over the next 5 days ahead and keep this secret tight from her family and husband, Jacob Hawthorne. With that said, there's a good chance she might confide in Ashley Morgan, or the nurse learns about it in other ways during the week of January 26 to 30. After all, her new boyfriend, Grayson Perez, is the lab technician who organized Naomi and Chelsea's tests. Will he slip by accident? Thanks to HIPAA, both Grayson and Ashley would need to keep this information to themselves. Meanwhile, Naomi's husband, Jacob, will deal with some drama during the week of January 19 to 23. He'll get into it with his dad, Police Chief Elon Hawthorne, and Detective Marcel Malone. The three will probably fight about a new case Jacob wants to be on, and by the end of the week, Marcel and Elon will lose this battle as Jacob will start an undercover case. With that said, is this an investigation against Joey Armstrong? The casino owner will have some interesting intel he relays to Elon. During the week of January 26 to 30, Jacob will likely continue his case, but will he land in any danger? Beyond the Gate, spoilers for the week of January 19 to 23 imply that Nicole Dupree will be shocked by a scandalous secret Vanessa McBride tells her. Is this about Dr. Kial Rollins? He'll be a part of storylines this coming week, and the blonde madam will proposition the good doctor at some point. But Vanessa is gaga over her boyfriend Joey, so it's unlikely that she hits on him. So will she propose something for her bestie? Nicole is dating Dr. Carlton Fitzgerald, but not married to him or even exclusive. Still, as the days go by, someone will accost Vanessa. So if the blonde makes matchmaking hints to Kial, Nicole might be the one who ambushes her friend. Will Kial and Nicole go out on a date during the week of January 26 to 30, or even do something more before then? Only time will tell. Across town, Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that two couples will kick up their romances a notch, so it's easy to see Ted Richardson and Shanice Johnson will be one of those duos. After all, they almost did the deed during the Friday, January 16th episode, but Ted stopped as he wanted things to be special between them and not just a romp in his work office. As the week of January 19th to 23 comes to an end, Leslie Thomas will confront Shanice about her teddy bear. So will Leslie catch wind of the progression of their relationship, or will she guess if she sees the two interact? Plus, who's the second couple who will move their romance to the next level? Across town, Danny Dupree will open up to her ex-husband Bill during the week of January 19, 2023, and then make a stunning move. Will she kiss him or do more? Speaking of Bill, his wife, Haley Hamilton, will get cornered at some point this coming week. Tomas overheard her talking to Randy Parker, her cousin and co-conspirator, about their Hat Kill Bill scheme during the week of January 12 to 16. Will Tomas call Haley out on this? With that said, as the weekend hits, Bill will pay for Tomas's silence. Will the young attorney run to his boss and spill what he knows? If Bill hears about Haley's plan, he'll have a scheme of his own that he wants to unleash. So fans will likely see Bill and Tomas conspire during the week of January 26 to 30 to ensure Haley goes down. Back to Danny, she and Pamela Curtis will have their eye on someone during the week of January 19 to 23, and it sounds like they believe Isaiah Hawthorne could be the next big thing in the modeling world. During the week of January 26 to 30, the ladies will try to convince Isaiah to sign up with their agency, but will he entertain the idea or shut them down? If he does shut them down, will the ladies be persistent? Beyond the Gates spoilers for the Monday, January 19th. Episode note: the soap will present Inside the Gates, a special that will gather the cast in a roundtable setting as they discuss pivotal moments from Season 1. It'll be a great chance for OG fans to get a sneak peek into the insights of their favorite characters from the people who play them and provide an opportunity for new fans to catch up on storylines. Next week, a special episode featuring the cast debuts in place of a regular episode on Beyond the Gates. It'll pull back the curtain on the show, featuring the actors as they spill the tea on their favorite moments, the spectacular drama that's unfolded over the last year, and the rookie soap's biggest secrets. Expect chaos, confrontations, and awkward celebrations the rest of the week. Vanessa's in for a turbulent few days. Early in the week, she'll spread some scandalous info, but by the end, she gets accosted. Will she be okay? Meanwhile, Leslie goes after Shanice. Jacob goes undercover, and Ashley calls Derek out on his sabotage. Here's what else is happening on BTG the week of January 19th to 2023. Monday, January 19th. Episode number 438. Beyond the Gates, Inside Fairmont Crest. Special episode that pulls back the curtain on Beyond the Gates with commentary from the actors as they relive their storylines, including all of Season 1's explosive affairs, shocking cons, and family secrets. Tuesday, January 20th, episode 212, the Hamiltons have an awkward celebration. Joey puts Leslie in her place. Vanessa shocks Nicole with some scandalous info. Chelsea's new lease on life causes friction with Madison. Wednesday, January 21st, episode number 213. Kat and Ted argue over Eva. Naomi hides her new normal from her entire family. Vanessa propositions Kial. Jacob clashes with Marcel and Elon. Smitty and Martin are surprised by Tyrell's latest stance on a family tradition. Beyond the Gates weekly predictions anticipate Danny Dupree and Bill Hamilton crossing lines, some people hitting the sheets, and a scary secret. We've got predictions for Dana Leslie Thomas and Joey Armstrong, for Bill Hamilton and Danny Dupree, for Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne, for Tyrell Richardson and Jessica, and also for Leslie and Shanice Johnson. Our very first prediction: Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne is positive for the BRCA gene, but keeps lying to her family and her husband. Tuesday spoilers for Beyond the Gates have Bill Hamilton and Haley Lawson celebrating, but it's awkward. Naomi is pushing to celebrate that Chelsea Hamilton is negative for BRCA, so she organized the family party. On Wednesday, Naomi is hiding something from her family, according to official Beyond the Gates spoilers. Last week, we saw Chelsea get back her test result, and it was negative for the gene, while Danny Dupree is of course positive for the BRCA gene. Jacob Hawthorne was trying to get Naomi to give him her password for the hospital health portal so he could see her gene test, but she refused to let Jacob look. When he kept pressuring, Naomi said she wanted to take some time before she looked, explaining that she was still processing and wasn't ready. But her mom, Danny, wouldn't settle for that. She demanded that Naomi check her results on the spot. She didn't told everybody she's fine. Jacob and Danny were relieved, but to me, it seems pretty clear that Naomi was concerned by what she saw on the portal. She didn't show anybody the test results and didn't let anybody else log in. I suspect she is positive for the BRCA gene. It makes sense that they'll have somebody else have it for the soapiest outcome. Jacob was talking to Derek Baldwin the other day about his and Naomi's issues, where they disagree about having kids. If Naomi is positive for the BRCA gene, I could see Jacob trying to talk Naomi into freezing her eggs. That may cause more problems because she's been very clear she doesn't want kids. However, it is a proactive thing that people who are positive for the BRCA gene often do. Our second prediction involves a cotillion stunt by Jessica and Tyrell that may be set up to look bad. Wednesday spoilers for Beyond the Gates have Tyrell's new stance on a family tradition taking Bradley, Smitty Smith, and Martin Richardson by surprise. We've seen Jessica, the girl Tyrell is dating, talking smack about the cotillion, and obviously, he's influenced by her. He repeated and parroted the things she was saying in front of Dr. Nicole Dupree Richardson, Martin, Smitty, and his sister Samantha Richardson, who is studying to be a debutante this season. Nicole explained to Tyrell the history of the cotillion and the proud tradition in their community. Samantha's all enthused about it, and later Tyrell circled back to Jessica, who is all of a sudden saying she will participate in the cotillion if Tyrell will be her escort. I suspect Jessica may be planning something. This could be some sort of stunt, protest, prank, or upheaval to display her clear contempt for the tradition. I think the surprise from Martin and Smitty is about Tyrell saying that he is going to participate and be there for Jessica's debut as her escort. I don't think Tyrell would knowingly participate in a stunt after how passionately his grandma Nicole was talking about the cotillion and defending it. She definitely seemed to sway Tyrell. But Jessica? I don't think she is going to be persuaded. I just think she's up to something. Martin and Smitty already don't appreciate the level of influence that Jessica has over Tyrell. If she does something to embarrass the Duprees as Samantha's making her debut, it may get messy. Our third prediction: Joey Armstrong plays dirty to take down Leslie. Tuesday, Beyond the Gates spoilers have Joey shutting Leslie down and putting her in her place. She thinks she and Joey are going to be close, and she keeps getting flirty while making sly insults about Vanessa McBride. Leslie wants her name all over the clinic, but Joey's not going to put up with Leslie's BS. Thursday spoilers have Joey giving Elon Hawthorne some intel that he needs. Meanwhile, Vanessa is waylaid by somebody. It could be Leslie snarking and saying catty things about her and Joey. On Friday, Jacob is going undercover. He's a man on a mission. I'm wondering if Joey has had enough of Leslie and her snark about Vanessa and her disrespect for the woman he loves. Joey can do this clinic project without Leslie. He just went over to see Bill to talk about some special terms and conditions that he wants in the contract to set up the free clinic. I'm already seeing Joey several moves ahead of Leslie. But on the flip side, she's pretty crafty. Also, the Duprees still want to see Leslie prosecuted for trying to kill Laura Peterson twice. Marcel Malone was supposed to be looking into her, but instead, he's looking to roll around naked in her bed. I wonder when Joey gives info to Elon if he's dropping a dime on sketchy Leslie, and if that's something to do with what Jacob's going undercover about. I'm guessing Joey could get dirt on Leslie if he really wanted to. Our fourth prediction: Shanice brawls with Leslie over Dr. Ted Richardson. Thursday spoilers for Beyond the Gates have two couples taking the next step in their relationship. Last week, Shanice and Ted were ripping off their clothes in his office, and then he tapped the brakes because he didn't want their first time to be on his couch at work. This week, we've got Ted taking Shanice out for a proper date and a nice dinner. It all sounds very romantic. I think we might get a verbal brawl between Leslie and Shanice, but I'd be down for a good old-fashioned real soapy catfight. Our fifth and final prediction: Tom Navarro catches Bill kissing Danny. Thursday spoilers have Haley feeling pushed into a corner. Andre Richardson was also unhappy when he caught Bill in Danny's bedroom hugging her. With Tomas getting a bribe from Bill to keep quiet, it seems like Tomas may see something with Bill and his ex, Danny. Are y'all ready to go beyond the gates? This past week, Nicole channeled her daughter. Haley couldn't decide if she was jealous of Danny or if she wanted Bill dead. Eva found herself in storyline purgatory, and Ashley got experimented on by a lab tech. Meanwhile, Leslie liked Marcel's concealed weapon, while Anita realized that chemo ain't no joke, and Naomi participated in a cover-up so big it rivaled Epstein. Let's fill up those two scoops and find out what happened inside and outside the gates of Fairmont Crest. Nicole did Danny right this week, snuggling with her sis as she reeled over the news that she got the cancer-amplifying BRCA gene variant from her mom. The shrink remembered when she broke her arm falling off a horse as a 10-year-old. A time Danny was so upset she didn't also have a cast. Young Nicole made her one in a show of solidarity. "Oh," Nicole said. If only some cardboard and some scotch tape could be of help now. Danny didn't want Nicole feeling guilty for winning the genetic lottery, as it were, which Danny hadn't, but I guess there wasn't any scotch tape in the house because it didn't stick. Nicole went the rather odd route of inviting Carlton up to Uptown to watch her down Long Island iced teas like her name was Lipton, which would have been a unique twist for the usually in-control head doctor if Kat hadn't done the exact same thing the week before in her refusal to even test for the gene mutation. Wait, what? Did Nicole hear about Kat boogieing with the bottle and decide she wanted to get on that particular dance floor herself? And what is it with the Dupree women turning to booze to handle their problems? First Danny, then Kat, now Nicole? I'd almost be more worried about there being a genetic predisposition toward alcoholism than any of them carrying broken BRCA, since that's certainly not a guarantee of cancer. Strange writing choice, having all three of these women drown their sorrows. It's also not the greatest message. Did it give Nicole a chance to let go her inhibitions and act out a little bit? Sure, but she didn't come across like one of those funny drunks. No, I think Nick is probably a mean drunk. She bitched at Carlton, who was just sitting there, trying to cuck him for supposedly not being able to deal with the real her. Once Carlton managed to get Nicole home safely, she demanded that he leave, again thinking he found her true self repulsive. There are lots of y'all out there who don't like Nicole with Carlton, don't like Carlton, period, and think Carlton is up to something. How can you guys conclude that when dude tucked Nicole in after she passed out and left her a self-care tray to help with her inevitable hangover? Carlton deserved a prize for putting up with Nicole's antics that night. Plus, I think the fact that he didn't run off shows he really cares about her. It was only Vanessa, however, who clued in that Nicole was putting herself through some severe survivor guilt, which is a legitimate reaction, given Nicole was spared Anita and Danny's genetic mutation. Good on Van for telling her BFF to kick that soot to the curb. But how about her trying to get Nicole and Carlton to join her and Joey on a double date, though? Heifer will do anything to legitimize her relationship with the man she knows deep down can't be legitimized, won't she? Talk about the times a-changin'. Even a couple of months ago, Danny would have thrilled to find Bill running up to her bedroom to support her after she tested positive for the Boo Boo brand of BRCA. But now, Danny is settled enough into her marriage to Andre that she told the egocentric Bill it wasn't his place to offer his broad shoulders for her to lean on. There wasn't anything he could do about the sitch, besides. "Don't bet on it, beautiful," Bill swaggered. This while Andre was downstairs, having come home to find Nicole warning him that Danny's first husband had burst in to be Danny's one-man support system. Andre didn't like that, but kept himself composed as he went to the boudoir, where Bill was hugging on his wife, next to his own marital bed. If photographer Andre had had flash cubes handy, he would have blinded Bill with them right then and there. Instead, Andre managed to get Bill into more neutral territory and spat that he'd better not see Bill all over Danny again like one of his designer suits. Bill basically dared Andre to say that was a threat, so Andre clapped back, "I don't think I stuttered, counselor." Great stuff. Andre also reminded Bill that he had been a crappy husband to Danny, so trying to be a great ex-husband wasn't going to cut it either. It's about time Andre took a harder stand with Bill, though I don't think this first one is necessarily going to stop our fixer. Maybe if Andre finds out Haley is poisoning his rival, he might jump on board with that. And how about Haley, though? Or at least fantasy Haley, who somehow had access to Chelsea and Naomi's test results and taunted Danny about them. Danny waved a hand. She didn't want to know what they said. Turned out Danny was just having a daymare, as Pamela put it. Gates does some of the best fantasy sequences, and it's always good to see Danny's ride or die. But I feel like there are more significant things for Pamela to do than actually co-sign Danny accepting support from Bill. This when she essentially told Bill where to stick it not long ago. When is their modeling agency going to open? Leslie's house will be ready first. Back at the law firm, Haley took Tomas's instruction to investigate Lynette's boss to mean looking into Lynette's credibility instead. She must have been sharing distraction cooties with Bill, because he was not with it. Haley was so mad afterwards about Bill taking off to Danny's that she told Danny she would soon be crying over his casket. Well, Val, you had your chance to make that happen last year already, but you botched it. And I can't quite figure her out. If Haley's only interest in Bill is getting every penny out of him she can as his widow, why would she care if Bill was hovering around Danny? I know she told Randy before that it would take the focus off her being Bill's wife, but there's some definite mixed motivations going on. I have a hard time believing at this point that even such a specimen of masculinity as Bill wouldn't be feeling the slightest symptom from all that poison Haley is pumping into his body. Not a bit of blurred vision, no elevated heartbeat, not even the occasional sneeze? Bunch of you got fooled by the preview where Bill told Haley he wasn't going to drink any more of her poison. Huh? Not me. Not after watching soaps for 40 years. Yeah, they weren't going to spoiler Bill catching on to Haley's scheme in a preview. As I predicted, Bill had simply been referring to Haley's herbal tea as poison. Haley laughed it off, then later left a message complaining to Randy about having to step things up. A directive that Tomas overheard outside the door. Good, because it's time we see this poisoning arc to a climax already. Not to mention, a reason why Haley keeps acting jealous of Danny. She had to scramble with Bill after she casually told Danny that at least Bill would be there for their daughters should worse come to worst. Danny's daymare wasn't that far off, eh? Bill was pissed, and Danny yelped that he was always taking Danny's side. Speaking of sides, Haley, pick one. Bill canceled his silent treatment of Haley once he found out that, on his suggestion, Haley had actually reached out to Naomi to offer sympathy about waiting on her test results. So does Haley actually care about her former friend? About Bill? Or is all that just part of playing the devoted wife? As I said, it's time to move this Haley story along to the next phase. It feels stalled to me. Ted turned a corner this week, after Andre advised him to get over himself where Carlton was concerned. That is, Carlton was surprised, and so was I, when Ted approached him and took some responsibility for their falling out, coming to the realization that Nicole was a single woman now and could go out with whomever she pleased. Ted all but gave Carlton and Nicole his blessing. And I'm glad, because Ted being all butthurt was getting pretty old too. Not only did he F up by having a long-ago affair which produced a child, but his makeup game sucked donkey balls. It was high time for Ted to remove his tail from between his legs and feel his huevos there instead. And we finally see this happening, all thanks to a certain nurse's supervisor named Shanice. Encouraged by Ashley to bust a move on Ted, Shanice ran up on Dr. R with some chocolate ice cream, and before you could say Ben & Jerry's, she was using the frozen dessert as a seduction device. And it worked, because Ted was ready to give Shanice carpet burns for the first time right there in his office. Until he wasn't. Not to worry. It was for a good reason. Ted realized he'd been about to put dessert before dinner and asked Shanice to share that gift certificate package he'd won at Winterfest for that fancy restaurant, Obelisk. Shanice had at first been afraid that Ted wanted to go back to simply functioning as professionals, so she was glad he still wanted to date her. So flustered was she that later, Ashley noticed Shanice had her scrubs on inside out.